Alright, today I have the iRobot i6, and I'm going to show you how I clean the iRobot i6 of debris, dust, and whatnot. So I'm going to go ahead and get started with that. So I have the iRobot i6, and what I do is make sure that it's not turned on, not running, of course. And then what I do is I go ahead and flip this, and you see this is the iRobot Roomba. This is the underbelly of the iRobot Roomba. There is a lot of debris and whatnot all in the brushes and on the side and the wheel. I'm going to show you how to clean all that, clean off the sensors and whatnot. But before we get started with the brushes, I want to go ahead and empty the dustbin. And so I empty the dustbin by simply pressing on this and pulling it out and making sure there is no dust inside of the dustbin. All right, so there's a little bit on here. I'm going to go ahead and knock it out. In order to get that out, I just take this. After I took the dustbin off, I'm going to show you that again. Take the dustbin off, press this button right here. It pops off like that. And there's dust in there. And so what I do is I press this button, open this up, and then I'm going to empty this out into the trash garbage bin. But for demonstration purposes, I'm not going to totally empty this out. After I empty that out, simply shut this back. And then there's also a filter right here. Now, this filter, this HEPA filter, you want to make sure that this is clean. Because if it's not, it's really going to drain the battery and it will not clean as well. All right, so make sure that this HEPA filter is clean. If you can't tap it off and get the dust out and brush it out, if it's too clogged up, you may need to put a new filter in. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and place this back in there. Put it right there. And I'll leave a description part in the page. I'll leave some information in the description part of the page where you can find brand new filters to put inside of the iRobot i6. I'm going to go ahead and close this back up. So once we have that all squared away, we're just going to go ahead and flip this. And on the underbelly, there's a series of brushes that have to be cleaned. And I'm going to start with the front brush right here. This is the sweeper brush, and let me zoom in a little bit so you can see this a little bit better. This is the sweeper brush right here, and what I'm going to do is, in order to get this clean, you could go ahead and just pull off the hair that is surrounded by the brush. Now, if there's too much hair and you want to get a thorough clean, you just take a screwdriver, Phillips head, and go ahead and unscrew this part right here. And then once you unscrew this part, there's hair. Get in a little closer so you can see all this. There's hair. Just simply pull that up. Now look at that. Look at that hair, bundle of hair. Just put that to the side. And then you could pretty much just tug off the hair that is surrounded on the brush. If it's too thick, you can take some scissors and remove that. All right, so we have this. And then after that, you just simply place this back into place and get your screwdriver and screw that back into place to where it doesn't come off when the Roomba is back into action cleaning your house. All right, so that's that brush. And we're going to slide over to this side right here. Now this right here is the front pivot wheel. And what I do with this, it's relatively simple. You just pull up on that, right? You see it pulls up and it comes out. And if there's dust down in here, you can simply blow it out, or you can wipe it up just like that with a cloth. Now, there is this wheel. Now this right here pops out. So you just take it, push it, and it pops out. And then generally I find a lot of hair gets caught up in here on the wheel, right here. I just simply tug that, and take the wheel and pop it back in place. See, it's back in place. I'm going to pull it back out for demonstration purposes. It comes out just by pushing it like that and put it back into place by like doing that, snapping it back in place. And once you have that, this wheel is clean. If you want to get the dust off, just take a cloth, wipe it clean like that. Make sure that part is clean and just simply pop this pivot wheel back into place. All right, so next we're going to go onto the back. All right, and when I get to this part, these are near the brushes. But before I get to the brushes, I usually just check this area right here. Make sure no debris is caught up in there to keep this from sealing. This is part of the automatic dirt disposal. If you have the iRobot i6 Plus, where it has the vacuum pack where it vacuums the debris out of the machine after its use, it uses this part right here. All right, so let's go ahead and get to the brushes. So I'm going to go to the brushes, and to get to the brushes on here, there's going to be a green tab right here, and I'll push this green tab that way, inwards, and it pops up right here. There'll be debris around here, dust. You can wipe this up with your cloth, and then you can just go ahead and pull out the brushes. All right, so to see the first brush, there is some debris on here. Generally, you can knock it off. What you really want to be aware of is there any hair that's caught up on the sprockets right here? Not so much since my last cleaning right here, so it's not so bad. But then there is the other one, and there actually is more hair on here. You see that? Big pieces of hair, blocks of hair, and on this side, even more, just like that. And after I pull out the hair, you want to check inside to see if there's any surprises. Now, there are some surprises. There's a penny, and then there's a quarter right here. And there is some gunk down here. You want to make sure nothing is caught up in here. This can get really clogged up in here. I generally just take just something, just make sure that it's not too bad. If you want to, you can go ahead, take this all the way out. I'll make another video for that. But it doesn't look too clogged up in there. And so what I'll do is, I'll just generally wipe this out right here. Use a slightly, wipe some of the dust out of this. Make sure you get that out. And I'm not going to clean it up all the way in here just for demonstration purposes. I just want to get you an idea of what it's like to clean this area. So check that out. See nothing's in there. And another way you can check that one canal is coming back in this way, pulling off the dust filter, and seeing how much debris is in there. Now, if it's clogged up, anything's clogged up in there, you want to clean that out. And I usually take my cloth, just simply wipe it like this, and get any of that stuck on debris, get that loose. Because you want this part right here to be as clean as possible, because this is where the actual debris blows through. All right, so once you have that, you have some debris right here. It's saying replace the bin. I'm going to do that. Get the dust out on the table. And I'm just going to go ahead and put the bin back in place. Again, if you remember,
empty the bin.
Just click this back on side. Click that in place. Turn it back over. And then I'm going to go ahead and put the brushes back into place. So let me go ahead and get right here. Make sure that the debris is off of the brushes, all of the hair. And once all the hair is off of place, you're going to go ahead and put the brushes back in. And it is important that you put them in properly. And it shows you right here, the dark green goes this way. And you're going to put this in place. It's kind of tricky sometimes to put this all the way back in place, but it gets in there, I guarantee. You have to figure it out. So, is that the right one? So it says a square for this one right here. I'm going to go ahead and put this one in first. Doesn't always, oh yeah, pull that out first. See what I did? I had this all the way in, and you can't put them in that way. So go ahead and take this, remember, and pull that out. And once that is out, I'm going to go ahead and put this into place. I believe it's this way. Yep, there it goes. It slides into place so easily, right? And then I'm going to do the other side. Place it down, right into place. And then I'm going to go ahead and do this until it clicks. And then once it's clicked into place, I'm just going to take my cloth, dry cloth, and I'm just going to wipe the connectors right here. These are the metal connectors that charge the device once it's back into place with the dry cloth. Wipe them one by one like that. And then what I do is I put a little bit of Windex on the cloth, and then there are sensors around here. And so I just wipe the sensors to make sure that they are clean. Now the sensors, it's important that the sensors are clean because they detect if your Roomba is coming close to the edge of some stairs or going onto a new surface. So I always make sure that the sensors are clean on the bottom. So once I've done that, just go ahead and flip it up on top. And then there are cameras on this right here, as well as sensors. So I'm gonna go ahead and take some Windex right here. And the one camera is right here. Make sure that it's wiped down. And then there is a sensor right here. And make sure that is wiped. And then on the front, there is a sensor that goes all the way around. And I'm just gonna go ahead and wipe
Move to a flat surface.
this right here.
Press clean.
And last but not least, I'm gonna go ahead and spray my cloth. And I'm just gonna wipe the exterior of the iRobot i6 to get all the dust off.
Flat surface. Then press clean.
Cleaning it like that.
Error.
And that is how you clean an iRobot i6 Roomba. Now, read your instruction manual before you attempt to clean it yourself and abide by your instruction manual. I appreciate it a lot. I hope this was helpful. Thanks a lot for watching.